News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
A convicted sex offender charged with the death of a Missoula infant. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It's Thursday, July 7th, 2016. It's a beautiful morning in western Montana, mostly clear, 43 degrees, a little chilly, 43 degrees in Missoula. And our newscast this morning, sponsored by Transport Equipment, your headquarters for RV service, maintenance, and repair. Transport Equipment located just south of the Y next to the Axeman. Call 541-9097. Today's top story, convicted sex offender 25-year-old Mark Palmer has been charged with deliberate homicide after allegedly smothering a 5-month-old infant, Braden Beal, March 30th. The child was pronounced dead at St. Patrick Hospital. Chief Deputy Missoula County Attorney Jason Marks has more.
Mr. Palmer is charged with essentially smothering the baby in the very early morning hours of March 30th. The child's mother recalled waking up to the baby fussing and Mr. Palmer standing over the bassinet, or really car seat, I think is what it was. And then the child was dead the next morning.
Marks said evidence from the scene had to come back from the Montana State Crime Lab before charges could be filed.
This investigation has been going on since March 30th when the incident occurred. We were waiting on some information from the State Crime Lab. Once we received that, we filed the charging document and requested a warrant for Mr. Palmer's arrest.
After Palmer's appearance in Justice Court yesterday, Deputy County Attorney Brian Lowney said the $500,000 bail was appropriate to the severity of the crime.
The charge is a deliberate homicide. The underlying offense is a felony murder case. The underlying offense is an assault on a minor that ultimately led to the death of the victim, in this case a 5-month-old. Obviously, given the vulnerability of the victim, we take it very seriously and intend to prosecute it to the full extent of the law.
Montana's Sexual Offender Registry says Palmer was sentenced in 2007 for child rape and 3 counts of child molestation in Washington state. A 53-year-old East Helena man is charged with stealing more than $400,000 from an elderly woman over the past 13 years. The Independent Record newspaper reports the theft was discovered when the 81-year-old woman was about to be evicted from her nursing home. Ernest Norman Hughes was charged yesterday with exploitation of an older person and theft. He did not enter a plea at Justice Court, where his bail was set at $250,000. His district court arraignment is set for July 20th. He requested a public defender. Prosecutors say Hughes met the woman when she hired him to work around her former home. Court records say an adult protective services worker learned that the woman had about $434,000 in her bank account when Hughes gained power of attorney over her finances back in 2003. An inmate at the Missoula County Jail was found dead Sunday. He was identified as 57-year-old Arthur Hawks. Detention officers were serving lunch when they found Hawks unresponsive in his bunk. They began performing CPR. Medical staff and EMS personnel also assisted in life-saving efforts. Hawks was taken to St. Patrick Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Detective Sergeant Edward McLean with the Missoula Police Department has more.
2 detectives were called out that weekend and responded to the hospital where the 57-year-old male was pronounced deceased, with Missoula County Sheriff's Office running the detention facility. They were requesting an outside agency to conduct the investigation, which is why the Missoula Police Department handled that. Very much the same reason the Ravalli County Sheriff's Office is handling the coroner duties regarding the death.
Hawks was arrested May 3rd and charged with assault with a weapon after allegedly strangling a female transient with his belt after she woke him up as he was sleeping behind the Oxford Cafe and Saloon. The investigation into Hawks' death continues. Flathead County officials have released the name of a 17-year-old Big Fork girl who was killed in a weekend rollover crash on U.S. Highway 93 just north of Kalispell. Sheriff Chuck Curry said Madison Brooke Duke died in the July 3rd crash. The Highway Patrol says Duke was a passenger in a SUV that went off the road just before 5 p.m. and rolled several times before coming to rest on its wheels and catching fire. A passerby pulled the driver and Duke from the SUV. Duke died of head injuries on her way to the hospital. Things are going very well for firefighters taking on the Observation Point fire south of Hamilton. The fire grew just 12 acres, while containment of the fire jumped to 30% yesterday. The Ravalli County Sheriff's Office even rescinded its evacuation warning for homes between Highway 93 and Gold Creek. According to Fire Information Officer Ann Rissikora, the Type 1 Incident Management Team is hoping to leave the fire this coming Monday, but they need to accomplish some things first.
We're going to do the best we can to knock this down, get it corralled, get a nice wide break all the way around the perimeter. We're probably going to leave a lot of the hose lay, leave it so that if we do have to go back there and get crews in there and put water on it later, we're trying to set the forest up for success.
Riz Sikora says rain will play a big role in how fast the fires stop, but it could help or it could hurt the operation.
The incident meteorologist indicated he was anticipating a half an inch of rain, which is pretty soggy. That means we got socked-in water dogs. That means aircraft cannot fly. It's beneficial on a lot of levels, but it deters operations on a lot of levels, too.
The goal is to have 400 feet of dead space between the fire and the surrounding area before the Type 1 crew leaves. Even once that's achieved, though, Riz Sikora said the fire could keep smoldering all the way until the first snow. The ride-hailing company Uber is set to launch its service across Montana next month. Bozeman Daily Chronicle reports a company representative said the August launch will kick off with a series of events in several Montana cities. The Public Service Commission had given Uber permission to operate statewide back in December. The approval came after the legislature passed a law that made changes to the state's motor carrier laws. The 8-month delay in getting the service up and running in Montana was caused by a state investigation into whether Uber drivers would be classified as employees or independent contractors. The distinction helps determine worker rights, including entitlement to unemployment benefits. The Uber representative says its drivers will operate as independent contractors. The Amber Alert system in Montana is getting an upgrade thanks to a $15,000 donation from the Town Pump Foundation, according to Montana Attorney General Tim Fox. The Amber Alert system has helped lead to the finding of many Montana children.
We're able to get these alerts out pretty quickly, and it's helped Montana through the years recover a number of children. We've had 30 Amber Alerts since 2003 when the Amber Alert system was instituted in Montana, and we've recovered all 46 children involved in those alerts, and unfortunately, tragically, 4 of the children were deceased.
The new coded software upgrade will increase the avenues by which Amber Alerts can be sent out.
We are able to do a number of things that are very innovative and will help us react and respond to Amber Alert situations more quickly. We can be more targeted. We can use a number of different communication modes and mediums that we've not been able to use before, such as text messaging and RSS systems.
Coded software is also available for the public, and an app can be downloaded from the Montana Department of Justice website. A test run of the new software is set for October the 10th. Finally, Army Sergeant Bo Bergdahl is due back in court for a pretrial hearing on the charges that he faces after walking off a post in Afghanistan in 2009. The hearing today is likely to include a discussion of defense efforts to gain access to the correspondence of high-ranking military officials who were in positions of authority when Bergdahl's disappearance unfolded. Bergdahl is from neighboring Idaho. Our News Talk time, 6:13.
Newstalk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Mostly sunny skies today with our high temperatures in the upper 70s. A chance of showers and thunderstorms will be possible Friday afternoon with unsettled weather and cool temperatures this weekend. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for Missoula's KECI 13.